Okay. Okay, I think we're back. Okay, it says one viewer, so I guess we'll get started again. Now with Excel, but cut off edition. So what was I about to do? We were just getting into save editing, and I think we're going to start with colors. So next let me grab Chrome as well, because there are two spreadsheets that you need for this to actually understand what's going on. And that's Drive. I don't want Drive. Okay, there we go. So, this is... don't go full screen. This is the other sheet, and this has all the structures. They're not entirely accurate to remastered, but it's close enough. So the big spreadsheet here is the one that you'll be looking at most. This has most of the basic data types, all the names, all the sizes, that sort of thing, the offsets. And we'll just start with the colors here. So at 270, which you can see is offset 270 on the left there, you've got this 270 matching in the spreadsheet. And this is array cars. And that's made up of car data 512. It's an array of 512 car data entries. If we look here, you'll notice there's a car data tab down at the bottom. And this is the same thing that we're looking at here. But instead of absolute offsets, of course, you can't use that in a structure like this. So you have relative offsets. So let me get the vehicle spreadsheet open as well, because I realize we'll be needing that. Up, up, up. Okay. So if we take the ID, like just the first ID in the list here, and we search it, we're going to find out that that's the Cavalry Finish 1. Take another random ID. That's the Oval Champ 69, Finish 3. So I'm just going to scroll way down and grab there we go. So we're going to edit the Takedown Dirt Racer, and this is actually the car ID. Well, it just calls it ID, but it's a car ID. And the value right next to it here, FFFF, that's the color and the color type. Now these you don't have to typically worry about. This is damage, this is unlock type, but for now we're just going to be concerned with colors. So the color index here is listed as 8. That means that it's actually 8 bytes from here. And you can see that's represented here in the length as well. It is 8 bytes into the entry. Color type is 9 bytes. And I also have to open my colors, which is here. Colors are probably the easiest thing to edit in this game. You've got gloss, which is type 0, so we would just type 0 for that if we wanted the gloss color. And then these are the color numbers, actually, which are in decimal on Google Drive, because unfortunately I can't sort them properly in hexadecimal, but it's okay because you don't even have to convert it yourself, it turns out. If we wanted to have, say, color 58 here, then in HXD, we would type in the color field 58 and the data inspector, and it automatically knows this is 3A, and it enters 3A as the value. And that's pretty much the entirety of color editing. You just do that. Italic is type 1, Pearl is type 2, Special is type 3, that's the gold/platinum, and Party, or Pass the Pad, or whatever you want to call it, is type 4, which might also be referred to as unknown in some applications, you know. Like Vanity Pack called it that, I think. And I think that's it for colors, so we can move on from that. If you want to do damage, same thing. It's unlock deformed amount. It's a float. So you go to float 32 here for the damage, and you go to C in the entry. And if you wanted the damage value of, let's say, 2, it'll convert it to 2, but as a float, which is 40,000,000. It really just rolls off the tongue, these floats, but yeah. I think that pretty much sort of answers everything for the main entries. The car data entries, I should say. And we'll just move on to traffic, which is done a little differently. And actually, before I move on, I should say that if you wanted to add cars to this, like if you were to take another entry and just add it to the bottom here, you would just overwrite, and just like it says here at, where is it? In the spreadsheet, it's 25C is the car count. So we go to 25C if you were to add a car, and we would just change it from 5F, or actually you don't even have to do that. You go to the data inspector again, 351, change that to 352, and boom, you have your new car in there, whatever it is you want to add. And we'll just leave that there, I think. So for adding traffic, you can see we've got some entries in here already. This isn't traffic though, but this is the livery data chunk, and you can see them here. We've got offset 3270, 3217, HXD. And if we go to livery data in the other spreadsheet here, you're going to see it's got the base car ID, chosen livery, and the mileage. They did add, after 1.0, this, which is just a sort of flag. I think they're vehicle list flags. They don't really matter. Just set it to O2 when you write your entry. But if we were to want to, say, take down Dirt Racer, for example, and just like we did before, we want to add that in, but we're going to use the chosen livery ID. And let's say we want to replace it with traffic. We're actually changing the chosen livery from, say, finish 1, finish 2, finish 3 to a traffic ID, which the game doesn't really like because the traffic is not selectable by default. They have it set in the vehicle list flags, so it's not selectable. That's why you have to go in, run your marked man and all that online to kick yourself out of the junkyard. So let's just choose this one, and we write at this, the chosen livery ID. You see it's offset 8. We are at 8, and we just write it here. Mileage could just be 0, and 2 for that. Actually, I didn't check, but there may be already. Okay, no, we don't have a mileage log already. But after you do that, you've got your new entry. Same as before with the car data entry. You're going to want to go to the livery data count instead of the car count. That's at 260, so we change this, same as before, it's 50. Now it becomes 51 because you've added an entry. If you were to add 2 entries, it would be 52, and so on and so forth. And that's, well, at least for PS3 that was all you had to do to add traffic, really. It's not quite the same anymore in Remastered, so they changed the way entitlements work. And that means that, for example, if you tried to replace a cop car, on PS3, it would work fine, because it would only ever unlock the cop cars once. But now on Remastered, as far as I can tell, it's sort of trying to unlock them every time you run the game. And if it detects a finish that isn't the cop car, it's going to just reset it back after like 1 use. So it's really not happy about you trying to use cops or DLC. But aside from that, it's kind of the same. So all you have to do is add it to the entitlements chunk, which I actually don't have listed in this because it didn't exist in 1.0. But it got added in 1.7. So let's have a look here. And profile 1.7. We need to go to, not that one actually, 77 CEO. Let's change the bytes per row back to 16 for this. Okay, so we're at the structure here that contains all of the entitlements. And this is sort of the this is the place where you're going to be adding the traffic in. You're kind of unlocking it here, so it doesn't spit you back into the cavalry after you run your marked man. Where's my vehicles? Here. So all you really have to do here is copy this and paste it in, and this is the number of vehicles here. So if you add 1, once again, 16 instead of 15, and that's the traffic car added. But there is something else you have to do before you save, is you have to go ahead and find the index, which is actually this. So you have 15 indices here, starting at 0 and ending at E. What you have to do is add your own indice, or index, I mean. And in this case, it would be number 16, or number 15, excuse me. So we just type 15 in, actually 15 and 16, there we go. And that would be F, of course. If you want, you can just do like 10, 11, 12 for all the ones that you want to do. It's not that hard to add an index. And then you go down here. This is the color for each entitlement. It's a little more complicated than the other chunks, but all you have to do for these really is for for each car ID, like this one, I added one, you would add one index, you add one color, and you add one color type. Oops. So in this case, I've just set it to the default, which is FF, but you know, if you wanted to set a color on the traffic car, the way you do it is through this chunk normally. You would go like, I don't know, 04 and 46, and I think that's neon red or something, don't quite remember. This is also the mileage, if anyone was wondering. This is where the mileage is stored. There's no damage value in this chunk. And I believe below this you have the cop cars right here, but once again, same thing. It's sort of a smaller chunk, but same deal really. You would set the color in the cop cars. Just color 6, type 3, I don't know. I'm just sort of winging it here, but yeah, that's really how you edit the save there. I'll do a couple more things that you can edit, sort of just to show. What would be a good one? I'm not seeing anything in particular. Okay, dates. You can definitely edit dates. So 66090. And this is actually date and time. The real date is here. So this would be the date license issued. For me, if you go to time T, you can see that that's 3/21/2018, so March 21st. And if we wanted, we could just edit that to say, I don't know, October 31st, 2007 at noon. And that's what it'll become. So now when you go in game with this, your date license issued, just showing up on your license in the driver details screen, will be October 34th, or 31st of 2007. So what else would there be? Records, fairly straightforward. You have your sort of airtime there, for example. That's at 250. And it's another float, so if we go here, we can see the max airtime that I set on this save game was 3 seconds. I can change that to 10. change it to whatever you want, really. And this lists all of the different records for Profile 1.0. What else would there be? Some of the tougher ones might be bikes and the island stuff. This isn't really filled in because we don't have any debug data for this, but it's enough to give you sort of a general idea. You know, these are the road rules. And actually, I haven't covered road rules yet, but I'll just do it here with the bikes. And I need to find... I believe I know where it is. Don't know how I memorized that, but... yeah, so this is the order of the road rules, actually. So the first time here is Angus Wharf. And that's that time right there. That's selected. So when you look at the time here, it says the time is 31:033. That's measured in milliseconds. I'm not sure why they didn't use a float and just make it seconds, but it's measured in milliseconds. And the thing you have to remember is that burnout only goes to the hundredths, not the thousandths. So this 3 at the end here is not displayed at all. And you have to keep that in mind when editing your road rules, that you can't just type in like 31:03, because that's going to be 3 seconds instead of 31 seconds. And that's the same for car road rules as well. For bikes, I believe it's day and night is what we're looking at here. That's why there are so many times. And I believe if we go to the car chunk here, if I can find it. Alright, it's called challenge data. It's not challenges. It's road rules, but they call it challenge data. And I believe we can align this 40. Yeah, these are the road rules. So this is your time, your show time, car ID for the time, car ID for the show time. And I believe this represents whether you've beaten the road or not offline. And I think this one may be for online, although they call it dirty bit, so I'm not sure. And then, just for the roads, Angus Wharf is the first one. That would mean that this entire thing is Angus. This is Watt Street. And then you've got 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and so on. And I'll put this in the description as well. I'll be putting a lot in the description, I guess. So that should cover road rules. Challenge times are somewhere, I think, in Profile 1.3 or 4. That's the bike challenges. Where are the car challenges? Could have sworn that they had the time challenges somewhere in there. Let me just see what offset it is real quick. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of null data in the middle of the save, by the way. It does nothing. They accidentally allocated 8 times the necessary space for the mugshots, I think. Anyway, let's see if I can find... where is it? Probably know it when we see it. Yeah, okay. This looks like it. So that is Sony 5588. So it isn't 1.3. Yeah, okay. So we don't have the structure for that, but the basic structure here is you've got your challenge ID, and then the time. So this would be this. They actually did use floats for this, which you know, very consistent. But that's 38.7 seconds. And then there's the player count, which oddly enough is no longer 77 like it was in the original game. It's now 07. So, you know, I guess whatever. If you wanted to add challenges to this list, you would go down to the bottom here, and it says where it is. Or actually, it doesn't say where it is in this, but this is 39 challenges completed. And if you were to add some challenges, you would change that value. That should cover time challenges. Freeburn challenges are in Profile 1.0. They're just a list, just like this one, really, except without the times. Or really just a list of these IDs. See if I can find them just to show it. We are at... there, okay. Yeah, so this is the Freeburn challenge list. And you can see, same deal, you've got a list that goes onto here. If you want to add challenges, you would just add to the end of the list here. And keep scrolling until you find the number of challenges, which I believe is... it's not any of this. This is Smash data. I think it's this. E620. Yeah, that's right. So E620 is the number of Freeburn challenges completed, although I think time challenges are included in that list. Okay, what else? Island stuff. Yeah, we go to Profile 1.9. It really is the same as 1.0 really, but just in a different offset. You've got your bike road rules, your island records down at the bottom here, and yeah, smashes, all that. It's pretty much all the same as Profile 1.0, but just later in the save. So I think that sort of covers everything we need to know about the save. I guess I could go to the vehicles real quick, just to show that, yeah, these are the island cars. You've got Huge Dust Storm, I think this would be. Yeah, Dust Storm. So these are the island cars here. My save is missing one. It's missing the P12 Diamond. I hadn't unlocked it yet. But yeah, you could add that via save editing. And actually, I might do that. Yeah, let's just do that. And defaults. Some island unlocks. That's unlock type A. And then we go in and we find the number of vehicles there. So that's 79 E8C. E8C is there. I would just change that to OB. So that should do it for the save edits, as far as I'm aware. I think we covered everything that was important. Profile 1.3 has its own chunk. It's got the online cars. Same format as this. It's all car data structures. But yeah, I think we'll just save it here and move on to save encryption. I believe I had it open here. Okay. The FTP may have timed out by now. No, it hasn't. Okay, good. So at this point, we can just go in and now that we've saved our save game there, is that the backup? That is the backup. Okay, no, that's not it either. Okay, where did I save the save game? Okay, so now that we've copied the save game, we're just going to put it on the console now in its decrypted form. And you can see that's done now. Now that we've done that, we have to unmount the save game. If you forget to unmount it, doesn't really matter. You can always unmount it later. And I think I'll demonstrate that, actually. So I'm just going to start the game now that I've got my fresh save in there. Sort of demonstrate what's happening. And after this, we'll encrypt the save. This is just demonstrating that it works. So yeah, you can see that because my save was still mounted, it is detected it as corrupted. And if I just unmount and retry, it loads it perfectly fine. Oh, I think I crashed the game actually. Not quite because of the save game, but yeah, it hasn't crashed the game, it's actually frozen it. It's interesting. Anyway, I might have to restart the console if this keeps going on, but hopefully it works. I know the save works. Well, I don't know that actually, but oh boy, okay. Yeah, let's just restart. Yeah, at this point we're not going to be jailbroken anymore either, so I won't be connected. Okay, we're booting up again. I'm hoping this is just a side effect of the kernel exploit being unstable. It has many, many side effects. But yeah, it's sort of difficulties like this that when you're save editing, you have to overcome them. If I'm right, hopefully I am, it should just boot right into the game without hanging on the save load like that. No, okay. So I guess there's a problem with the save game. It's interesting, because normally it doesn't do anything like this. Okay, let's get out of that. Let's try and see what's wrong with the save here. Oh, you know, I might know what it is, because I changed it as an example. Probably doesn't like having this. I think that's the only one I changed, but let's see. I think I changed that one correctly. Yeah. So let's go ahead and jailbreak this again. Okay, we're exploiting. Take a few tries though. Okay, I think we've succeeded here. Let's go ahead and run the exploit. Hopefully it'll work. Okay. That's good. Okay. Let's do all the setup again. That. And let's FTP back in. Okay. And I believe I still have that up. So let's go back here. It should be empty right now. Yeah, it is. So let's mount the save. And let's copy our hopefully fixed save game back in there. Let's go ahead and unmount that as well. Now when we launch this, should hopefully load in this time. Nope. No go. Okay. Okay. Not sure what's wrong there. I'm gonna try copying the vanilla sleeve back and seeing if it still has the same issue. Although, if the modded save doesn't work and it is just the mod, that's the issue. I think I'll just demonstrate encryption on the unmodded save. Okay, let's give this a shot. I would like to demonstrate traffic at least once. But I did mess with a bunch of things. There's no telling what I edited that's making it crash. Okay. Oh, no, it wasn't my modded save. The game just crashes anyway. Alright, so we're gonna move off of this console. That was a vanilla save, so we're gonna go to my 505 console. and I'll just swap around the ports. I do have the decrypted save on my desktop here, so we should be good. I can just transfer it there. Okay, give me 1 minute. Alright, we are back on the 5.05 console here. And we're just gonna go ahead and exploit this right away. Hopefully don't get a KP here. Kernel panic, I mean. Now I have to open the 5.05 Save Mounter as well. Although I tend to use PS4 Cheater, the latest one, for sending the PS4 debug payload. Yeah, you can see it's updated, so I found that to be a little more stable for some reason. Alright. So now we get to do that again, but because it's stable, it doesn't take an hour. And we can just FTP in there. And we go here. Mount the save. And let's throw this one in, see how it does. I believe I actually need the other disk, so... Okay, this one's the one. Okay. There. So let's go ahead and see. Yeah, this is how I encrypt the saves. I mean, technically the PS4 does the encryption, and that's why I can't really do it on my PC or anything like that. You know, can't be easy. Alright, moment of truth. We're gonna see if the save works. Yep. Yeah, the save worked perfectly. I think there's a problem with my game on the other console now. Just kind of unfortunate because it was working rather recently, but well, these things happen. Anyway, now you get to see whether my save edit actually worked. For one, the P12 diamond should be unlocked. And for another, my takedown dirt racer should be replaced by a traffic car, I think, the RV. And as you can see, my diamond is now unlocked. I can take it, drive it around. As for the takedown dirt racer, well, let's go ahead and see. And yeah, that worked perfectly. So it's also got the color on it. I showed how to do that, I believe, in the first part of the stream. Or no, that was earlier in the second part. But yeah, of course I can't select it. I could if I modded the vehicle list, but I haven't done that. Anyway, and that's that. I mean, those are the edits I made, so we know they work. The save game works perfectly. And all you really do to encrypt is transfer it out to the USB device. So here we are. Just plugged it in. And it's going to tell me to replace, and I say yeah. And that's that. So now my modded save is now on my USB stick. And if I do that, you can see this is my new save, edited, well, edited apparently 10 minutes in the future, but, you know, same thing. So, yeah, that's the whole process that it takes to, you know, decrypt an existing save, edit it, and encrypt it. It's just sort of a more brief version. If I tried to cover everything you could edit, it'd be like a 13-14 hour video. So, not gonna do that, but I think I gave enough of the basics in this stream to sort of show that, yeah, you can do it. It's not entirely that hard once you have all the resources that are available. And I'll put everything in the description of, I guess, both parts of the stream. And that's that. So I think, does anyone have questions or, you know, anything they want to maybe need elaborating on? It's making the bold assumption that people have actually been watching my stream all the way through. And yeah, if I don't get questions in a couple minutes, I guess we'll just end the stream. Alright, Valgo. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Well, I've been streaming for, I believe, a little over an hour now. So that's how long it took me to do all that. And I guess that's how long you guys will have to watch. Yeah, 55 minutes sounds about right for this part of the stream. Has a different save? Yes. It does have a slightly different save. I think it's mostly because the string, or not strings, the player names, which I guess are strings, are sort of a different length. They have a different max length, so I can't remember off the top of my head how long they are, but that's the primary change. That's the big reason why the saves are different in terms of like offsets and stuff. That and the PC save has a header, which is actually really annoying because it's not 4-byte aligned. Yeah, everything's the same. Now, if you go back to like PS3, then you'll start noticing some differences, for sure. Yeah, no problem. It was a little messy, but I mean, that was kind of the intent. I wanted to show people that, this isn't something you can just hop on and do a lot of the time. It really takes a bit of time and effort to go in and encrypt, decrypt, mod saves. Otherwise, my stream wouldn't have been an hour. I guess I have to go gather my links up and put them in the description, so I'll end the stream here. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, I will see you in Burnout. Probably, if I ever play again. No, I will play. Yeah, y'all have a good one.